So often I see speakers give characters, but those characters don't come to life. Why? Part of the problem is every character sounds and looks like the speaker. The only thing that changes is the wording. However, the best speakers I've seen actually temporarily become the characters in their speeches. For example, when the character is a little boy talking to a man, he looks up. If the character is a woman talking to a little girl, she looks down. The posture of each character should be different. The facial expressions of each character should be different. Now, I'm not talking about using a child's voice, but I'm definitely suggesting using a child's expressions when giving his or her lines. Take a quick look at an example of when my son and I were watching the Olympics. What changes do you notice when he, not me, talks?
But kids say the darndest things, right? In fact, raise your hand if you watched the Summer Olympics last year. Do you know who the oldest participant in the Olympics was last year? A lot of people think it was Dara Torres, the swimmer. No, it was a 74-year-old equestrian from Japan. A 74-year-old equestrian from Japan. And so my 7-year-old son and I are watching this on TV, and all they kept talking about and harping on was the guy's age. They just kept saying, he's 74. Can you believe he's 74? By golly, he's 74. Finally, my 7-year-old son looked up and said, well, how old is the horse?
Welcome back. I temporarily became my son by looking up and using his facial expressions and childlike curiosity. You can use posture, positioning, facial expressions, and maybe even a subtle change in voice to differentiate the characters. Let's look at another quick example.
Here's another example. When my daughter was 6 years old last year, she said to me, Daddy, I like a bunk bed. I said, what for? You're one person. But I relented. I got her a bunk bed. But then my 3-year-old son climbed the ladder to the top. I said, Ace, you can't be up there, Ace. You got to get down. I don't want you falling. You're 3. When you're older, you can go up. But right now, you can't go up there, okay, Ace? You can't go up. He said, okay, Daddy. I come home the next day. Where is he? And so I said to him, Ace, what are you doing up there? You're not allowed up there. Get down. What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? He looked at me and said, coming down.
Welcome back. It's important for the audience to know which character is talking, and one of the ways to clarify this is to follow the advice I received from Patricia Fripp. She said use the recipient's name in the line of dialogue. Did you notice that my daughter used my name? Well, she said Daddy. This helps my audience know that she's the one talking. But did you also pay attention to how my daughter looked up and I looked down? But why did I look up when I spoke to my 3-year-old son? You probably figured it out because he was on the top of the bunk bed. This is true staging, and you'll get a separate lesson on that. For now, just understand that each character you introduce should have a subtle distinction. They all talk and look and feel different.
These rocket scientists, I was talking to them and I said, I'm going to go into this praise formula, and it's an acronym SSIP. And one rocket scientist jumped up and got mad. He said, SSIP is not an acronym. Because acronyms actually spell something. SSIP doesn't spell anything, so SSIP is not an acronym. Thankfully, another rocket scientist jumped up and said, well, flip it upside down, Jim.